Nice.
Everything's automated.
Automated hand washing.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Shower facilities. Very pleased with how all this turned out. I had a tour, the pleasure of having a D3 student athlete with me last week as we toured this, and she was quick to acknowledge the fact that many D3 and probably even a good portion of D2s do not have a facility as nice as this. I wouldn't know, hadn't been in D3 and D2. So, but I know the Alleghany Highlands has a nice locker room facility.
But we typically think of this strictly a male facility, but this is...
No, and we'll go around and I'll explain that.
Okay.
So with that being said, as you see, we have washers, dryers. So after Friday night football, particularly on a muddy night, we can wash uniforms. Behind you. There's a countertop where we can fold them and all that good stuff. So again, very accommodating there. A small storage area behind you. And as I mentioned, to me, the highlight of the facility is just the space. Lisa was able to get some very nice chairs. The concept would be the student athlete sitting, tying shoes, getting dressed. Then when it comes time for film, we have a wonderful TV. Wi-Fi is being hooked up at the coach's help with those things. So he can do film in here, and our student athletes can just grab a chair and congregate out in here and look at what they did right, wrong on Friday night, and then prepare for the next game. Also, we'll be accommodating here will be YouTube TV. So when the coaches are in here on Friday night washing uniforms, they'll be able to see Friday Football Extra. Our Covington Lumberjacks, when we transition back to them, those kids follow the College World Series, so that event will be available to them to watch. But again, in the name of some Southwest Virginia engineering, the benches that were proposed to go in here, it crowded the space. Now we can have a chair, we can fold it up, put it up inside our locker. The other important thing to note is that all of our lockers are open air. Back as a student athlete, we had nice plywood boxes to keep our clothes in, and sometimes on a sweaty day, that's not the nice aroma the next day. So, so the open air lockers, the spacious facility, just all of it is so very, very pleasing to the end result that we gather. As a student athlete, you walk in and this is the first thing you see, a very nice mural of our Cougar mascot sitting on the rock. Behind you is the coach's room. Of course, they have a curtain pulled down, but they also can lift up to keep an eye on the student athlete in the locker room facility, just in case we get to carrying on that we don't desire carrying on. Again, our coach's office, still some amenities to add, chair, maybe a couch, but that's their call. Then we have the trainer's room. Within the trainer's room, we have lockers, ice machine, countertops, plenty of storage for Band-Aids, ace bandages, and all that kind of good stuff. As we discussed, we do have a female student athlete on our football team, which of course is dominant male. So working with our athletic trainer, Ms. Bess, in here you've seen there'll be a dedicated locker for our female student athlete now. She'll be able to come in here, get dressed, and then once everything is good to go with our male student athletes, she will come out and be a part of the team, which is critical to Al and Dressler, that we're all one. Also, we have a restroom facility here that will be dedicated to our female student athlete, which includes shower, restroom facilities, and such. So it's important that Our female student football players are as welcome as all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is not part of their budget. At the end of the fiscal year, monies that were left over and go to Alleghany County government and City of Covington government. Here in the city, we communicate with our superintendents and finance, and if there's $50 left over, we let them know that it's going into our student athletes. For example, 2 years ago, there were a few dollars left over, which comes back to the city's general fund. Those monies were put into this project. Alleghany Foundation, City of Covington, and leftover funds that are due back to the city. This past year, the little bit of money that was left over from school spending, county and city, the monies to the city were dedicated to Field E at the Jacksonville Sport Complex, which we have our girls softball program over there, at least from a middle school. So over there you will see improvements in the Fieldhouse, the Lisa, not the Field E press box, and right now, as early as this week, we'll be relighting Field E. The product is over there. Icon Electric is on its way here any day now. They're behind, of course, with the weather, but we're lighting that up. And if there are funds left over once we finish, that'll transfer to July 1, and we're hopeful of constructing some concrete dugouts for the student athletes that seem to be something desired.
You're reinvesting the money to benefit students and student athletes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Ms. Halterman and I and Ms. Sneed Johnson, we're on that page. So again, those funds, as they know, as long as Alan is working with these people, at the end of the year, we let them know where we're spending those leftover monies, and it goes into a specific line item in our project for our student athletes. Any other questions? Good question, though. Appreciate that. Everyone to stay on that high road with folks like Kim and I, and it's going to be good. So, all righty. Tail grass was one of the last things. So our front yard is turfed now, and we're ready to go.
Even the grass looks good. Like the grass is
not the best time of year to sod, but we made it. Mama Nature's been helping me out more than Lisa would like, but it's all good. So, and again, as you folks are well aware, and I know there's been some questions, we go about this business because of our student athletes, and we all care about our student athletes. This vision came forth with working with our school system, our coaches, our players, as well as the Alleghany Foundation, local City of Covington government. Here we are. Also, all are aware, and I know there's been some questions I was made aware of actually this morning. We look after our school system and we look after our student athletes, and as you folks are well aware from administration, there are no fees for the use of the facility, for the use of the field house, for the painting, for the mowing. We take care of that for our kids in our school system. We have done that for 30-some years, and one of us is tenure, and we will continue that, maybe not for another 30 years, but Lisa's right here, so she'll probably be here at least 29 more. So, but we're proud of working with you folks. We're proud of our Friday nights and our games down here during the course of the spring, and what all that brings to the community. We're very accessible, parking, restroom facilities, concessions, and again, we have had a wonderful relationship. Band boosters, correct? With our band boosters and concessions. If there are needs, concerns, they are quick to call Lisa. And again, no charge for water, sewer, and refuge. So all right, MAC Club and baseball seats. Okay. Okay.
Well, and if you look at a map of the service area, this spot is right in the center of the service area.
It is. It is. So, and kudos to Coach, kudos to Ty. They communicate extremely well with us, and we could not ask for any better with that. So we get schedules as quick as they can get them to us, working with other schools, and that's critical to us from the standpoint that, again, there's a lot of other things that go on here, a lot of things that go on at the Jackson River Sport Complex that having the knowledge of our Alleghany Highlands public school system, which is at the top, we're able then to work things around our games there and here. And here we host this weekend. We've got a USSSA ball tournament here Saturday. Fort Young we have Sunday because we got Lumberjacks here Sunday. We just had a college showcase tournament here with kids from all over the state, and we entertained Southern Virginia University from down in Buena Vista on many of occasions. And they all know that our Cougars come first, and we work things around the Cougars and everyone else that wants to be a user. Yep, we helped Highland County with their regional game this spring as well. So, and we appreciate people calling on us. We're proud of the facility that we have to offer, and we're here to bend over backwards for anyone that wants to use these facilities.
How are the plans going for the rest of the stadium underneath the...
The plans are complete, and construction or renovation begins today. So our first is to start with the new men's and women's restroom facilities on the far end of the stadium and work our way around. We have an officials room to complete. We have improvements to what is today the Cougar cage will then become the visiting room, and then the far ladies restroom facility will be pretty much dedicated to our cheerleaders and band members.
And so this process actually started, what, more than 2 years ago?
Probably
when you
2
first
years
started
ago, with the planning process and construction, at least here, have been about a year. And I am proud to say, as folks know me pretty well, everything you see here from the hammer and nail into things was local. Our general contractor was a local, going through the procurement process. And then all subcontractors were local. Certainly materials were bought out of the Alleghany Highlands on occasions, but there were a lot of things that were done here in town with our electrical companies and our S.J. Niehawks and things like that. So we're big on monies being spent here local, and just tickled to death with the construction and the pride that goes into this. I'm fortunate working with a lot of local contractors that this too is their city, this too is their home. So I've got folks that now can bring their children and or grandchildren down Craig Avenue and say, Charlie, look what your daddy did. And that is a lot of self-satisfaction to Alan Dressler. We work a lot through interdepartments, our public works, certainly our recreation, developmental services with inspections and all that good stuff along the way. And we're very proud of our end product and can't wait to see what happens underneath Booty Albert Stadium that is there from 1962.
And what kind of a time frame do you think about that particular bit of
I think about
construction?
tomorrow, but I know that's not reality. We are hopeful, and certainly our restroom facilities are top priority for kickoff. 1st September, Coach, kickoff, first home game?
I think it's September 3rd.
Okay, so that's the ultimate goal, is September 3rd to be ready, at least for the restroom facilities, and then we'll chip away with that. Coach and Lisa and I have already made accommodations. If by chance we're not accommodating to our visitors, we have a home for them, at least through this football season, and then they'll be good to go next year. This will accommodate our football team, will be the first users of the facility come August. Then we'll turn around to our baseball team next spring, and then the Lumberjacks next summer, and then we'll just start that cycle all over again. The Lumberjacks have been good to work with us. and accommodating what we're needing to do for our high school, and they'll remain underneath the stadium for the rest of this baseball season.
So you said there was room for equipment. They don't have to haul equipment. They have storage in here. Well, I'm the only person from the school board, so on behalf of the school board, I'd like to say congratulations, good job.
The benefit to putting things like this together is having been there, done that. We had some pretty good teams back in our days, and our accommodations were underneath the stadium. The lockers that we had were the ones that were built for the Covington Astros. They still had the blue and the orange colors on. The communication we've had with coach and athletic directors and student athletes. And in the initial stages, we met with some school board members. So we had input from all, and then we put a project together and worked with AECOM Engineering with the conceptual design. And we do have a history of engineering some things in good old Southwest Virginia fashion, and most of the time turns out okay. So we're very proud of the end result here today.
Well, the planning for this is certainly serious business, but it almost seems like, knowing you, this also had a bit of fun to it. There's so many aspects, especially on the inside. It just seemed like fun and work at the same time.
It was, and again, the advantage of having been there and done that as a student athlete for the Cougars back a couple years ago, you see what you would have liked to have had, and you see what you were able to get. And the neat thing about being a local government public servant all these years, you know, we didn't have grass at Casey Field when we were kids, but maybe that's why we ended up tougher. I don't know. We played on rocks and things of that nature, but there was, in football season, there was no grass basically from 30 to 30 inside the hash marks. So I'm very proud of what our recreation, the city has invested, and we have nice athletic fields and very nice facilities, and the vision is still there to move on and do a few more things over the next few years.
Is there any one aspect of the new field house that you think just stands out above all else, or just
Space.
Space?
I think it's, as we got into this, we made a comment earlier that in the original design there were actual benches to be concreted to the floor, and in good old Southwest Virginia engineering, we thought it was wise to eliminate those. Lisa did a great job of finding some very quality chairs, so now we have open space. Nothing to get around. Our student athletes, when the coach is ready to do film work, they can get their chair, they can congregate in the middle in front of the TV screen and watch the film of what we did good, what we did bad, and what the next team's going to bring to the table. But the actual space is, to me, the most important thing. The other thing that's critical to an Allen Dressler is facilities fitting into our environment. We live in a beautiful community, natural environment, so nothing against purples and pinks and those colors, but this is an earth tone color, fits very nice into what's around us, and we're excited about our first Friday night. Our student athletes coming down the ramp, and as a kid entering to enter Sandman, and everybody jumping up and down, and anyway, so.